The theater remains in a hush as they sit in awe of the middle-aged man. Konstantin Stanislavski, originally born in 1863, having passed in 1938, and brought to the year 2021 via the scientific miracle of cloning, as well as the preservation of his mind, thanks to the dedication of neuroscientists, recounts his feelings towards modern theater and performance. Sitting before what could theoretically be considered his peers, but more accurately would be considered students of his teachings, still being taught today, he continues. It warms my heart to see that my teachings have not been forgotten. The idea of embodiment of one's character is important to a performance the audience can relate to, he says softly. By better understanding who you are when you step onto the stage, you create not only reliability, but believability. By asking 7 basic questions, we achieve this feat and create the world that our characters and audience can share in. Asking who we are, we can define the mannerisms of our character. Are they youthful, or are they elderly? Are they in good health, or do they suffer from an impediment that causes their existence to be more difficult? Questions such as these fall under the definition of who your character is. That being said, this is not enough to convince an audience that you are more than a performer. You must build your world and objectives. By asking where and when your character exists, you better define the previous question of who. If your character is not of the modern age, obviously their thoughts, beliefs, and mannerisms will not be that of your audience. Characters from the past behave differently. Trust me, I have much experience in that. The questions of where and when are not only pertaining to the area you live in, but the time of year. What time does your character's actions take place? Is it day or is it night? Sun up or sun down? You must ask yourself if it is warm or is there a blizzard happening. If so, how will they react to the environment? This must be taken into consideration. He pauses for a moment before considering his next point. For Stanislavski, this felt akin to teaching, something that he was very familiar with, was more than comfortable doing. By hearing these ideas from the source, he would hope that the art of theater would reach new heights. Your character must have an objective. What is that objective, my friends? There must always be a goal that your character is attempting to achieve. Are you trying to entice someone in a romantic sense? Are you attempting to destroy the empire that has been built? Is your objective to convey lessons to a group of students so that they may continue to improve upon their craft? Consider that as you develop your performance. This leads us to the next question of why we are trying to achieve our goals for characters. There must always be a reason for action, otherwise there is no point in continuing. Next, we ask ourselves, how do we plan to achieve the goals we have set out for ourselves? As the saying goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. This rings true not only in performance but in life itself. As performers, we continue to maximize the probability of our careers and achieving our goals by planning ahead. We also apply this to our characters. They must have at least some idea of how they're going to reach the zenith of their objective. Without planning, the best we can hope for is sheer luck, and that is something we cannot successfully rely on. Finally, we must acknowledge that the road we have taken, not only as performers, but as our characters, is not as simple as we would hope. What is stopping us, or attempting to stop us from achieving our goals? Is it financial burden? Is it another character in our performance that has taken the role of nemesis? Our path forward is that of an arduous journey that should be succeeded. We will find quite fulfilling. Stanislavski stands and gently pats at his trousers, removing any dust or particles that may be unsightly. He looks to the theater, a glint in his eye, taking a moment before giving his closing statements. I look out to this room, and I see that not only has my work allowed theater and performance to evolve, but it has given it a chance to thrive. I see that these 7 seemingly simple questions I pose, who are you? When are you? What time is it? What do you want? How will you get it? Why do you want it? And what's standing in your way? Have given reason to take pause and find ways more deeply to understand your roles on stage. To see that for almost a century after my demise that these principles are not only taught, but that are considered by many to be almost gospel and core principles of our craft, truly does make me hopeful for the future. If I may ask one thing of you before I depart, let it be this. Please continue to pass along my teachings as they were passed along to you, as I was responsible for the future of this beautiful profession. I now pass that responsibility along to you. Thank you for your time. With a bow and an uproar of applause, the curtain begins to drop as Konstantin Stanislavski makes his exit, a smile beaming on his face.